Hey YouTube, Jeremy here with Simple Little Life, and today is day 26. Yes, April 26th, the 26th day of the 30-day video challenge. Today's video, I'm going to answer a question that a viewer had asked, Julia, I think it's Julia, I apologize. They were wanting to know if I would do a quick video on my pneumatic belt grinder slash sander. A new tool I bought, really great little tool you may not have thought of for knife making, but I will go ahead and show that to you real quick. Quickly show you a few things I've been working on in the knife shop. This here is a little prototype Nessmuk Skinner. Started to grind. Got some bushcraft knives on order for a customer. There's another little prototype smaller blade I've just rough ground out. And then I had a customer who bought one of my neckers and they really enjoyed it, but they wanted some jimping on it. So there's some hand filed jimping. Takes a lot of work. I think I actually might take it out to my milling machine and mill that, but anyways. Let's get to this grinder. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'll set up the tripod. Well, first I'll show it to you. So this is it. Now this is from Princess Auto. It's a power fist, which pretty much always means it's junk. But I wanted to try it and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a good one. Let me get this thing on a tripod and I'll kind of show you a little more detail about it. Okay, so what this thing is basically it's just a mini belt grinder, belt sander. And it uses these, there's different sizes of ones. This one that I have takes belts, I believe they're 3/8 inch by, I don't exactly know what that is, 12 inches maybe. But basically it just loads onto here. There's a backer that runs on, which is nice for getting flat when you need to grind something flat. And I'll just show you how you put these in here. Put it over the wheel there and locks it up in place, and you can track it with these two screws. And I found that once you set it, it doesn't really vary from belt to belt. Get some air in here, and here you go. Got a lot of crap built up in here. One thing I do like about this is that, like I said, it's got this flat part here, which will give you a nice flat grind. But on this side, you can actually use. This side is unsupported, as well as right in here. There's no support in there, and I find that nice for putting a nice contour on things. I'll show you a few different ways that you can use this. Now, what I would say the biggest advantage to using this tool is for profiling handles. A lot of the woodworking tools that you buy, sanders of all different types, whether they're disc sanders or belt sanders, they're made for large objects and not necessarily very intricate work. A lot of the finer things when you're making a knife, you know, in some of these finger grooves and stuff, a lot of times it's hard to get a woodworking tool that is sized appropriately and does a good job of that stuff. And that's where I find this sander to come in. But first, real quickly, I'm just going to show you, this is my just a piece of maple here. I'll show you how well it removes material. So I'm just going to put a brand new belt on this thing. I'll show you how quickly it will remove material off this piece of maple. As you can see, that's fairly significant. This thing really hogs off material, which makes it super fast. And you do need to be careful when you're doing your scales, because it will take off like that. And if you make a mistake, sometimes it can be a very, very quick mistake, but it works pretty good. And obviously you can get different belts. This is an 80 grit belt that I have. I also have for 120 and 220. I'll show you another way that I like to use this. So another way that I'll use this is for doing some of these finger grooves and other inside radiuses that you need to do with different parts of your knives. And usually what I'll do is I'll just stick my hand around the workpiece and I'll grab onto the tool right here with my one hand. And that gives you a lot of really precise control when you're doing work like this. And one other thing to note with these is that on most of these, this entire arm that holds the belt is adjustable. And on this unit, it's just got an Allen screw. You loosen that up, and now you can adjust this all the way around. Obviously, it rotates around the drive pulley there, but basically you can set this up for wherever you find the most comfortable or for specific tasks. I typically will keep mine pretty much straight, something like this, and lock it up. And there you have it. I know I've seen these on the Snap-on trucks. I don't know if it was a Snap-on branded one or if it was like a Chicago Pneumatic, Ingersoll Rand. I'm not sure, but like I said, I bought this Power Fist and I really like it. Princess Auto also carries a larger version, which has, I think it's a 1/2 inch wide belt and it's about that long. This one was only 40 bucks, which is a pretty good deal. And honestly, for the amount that I use it, it's not like I'm working this thing for hours at a time. It's maybe 10 minutes here and there every few days. I'm sure it's going to last fairly well. And like I said, this speeds up a lot of the processes when you're making a knife. It's even handy if you don't have a belt grinder, so if you're hand filing your bevels to add contours, you put this in a vise and you can get a lot of control there when you steady your hands and you're working on it. So it's really a pretty handy little tool. Just something else that you may not have thought of as a knife making tool, but just for the fact that it allows you to do a lot of very fine work where lots of woodworking tools don't, I think this can be a pretty good option for a knife maker. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.